Okay, I'm Lori Ware Labrum. I Ware from Orangeville. I lived here all my life. Was born in Salt Lake, but Dad and Mom moved back here. My mom taught me all I know about the handwork, embroidering, crocheting, all of that stuff. And my grandmother helped out, Grandma Olson, Melva Olson. And I understand my grandmother Ware did a lot, and I know my great-grandmother did. I have a lot of pictures of her work. So it's just kind of passed down from everybody. And I made it a goal to have an Afghan for each of my kids when they got married. And then I found this planned pooling type of stuff, and I thought I've got to learn how to do that. And I've picked that up since I retired. It's just single crochet in a chain, but it's how it works with the yarn. You'll start with just a regular variegated yarn, and it comes out in an argyle pattern. And however you put your needles, wherever you start with the color, makes a difference in the pattern that you get. I just like the diamond argyle. And so and it's enough to have to learn how to do that. The hardest part is the beginning, the starting. You have to make sure that your yarn, the different colors on your variegated yarn, the color scheme, it doesn't matter how many colors there are, it doesn't matter what order they come in, other than it has to be constant. If we had red, white, blue, and yellow, you always have to have red, white, blue, and yellow all the way through. And they don't have to be the same length, but all the reds have to be the same length, and all the blues have to be the same length. But blues and reds don't have to be the same. So you just have to check to make sure that the yarn will fit a pattern, so that when you turn and go back, you can move your yarn one stitch further along, which will create your slant in your plaid, so that it comes out as a plaid. I undid probably 20 times, more than 20. I probably took 3 weeks my first time trying to get it right. I wasn't gonna let that catch beat me, I was gonna beat it. And I finally, once it finally falls into place, it's just like, oh, it did it. And then you just keep on moving from there. The big trick is where you put your hook, the color underneath your hook is the color of your next stitch. So if you get off a little bit, it shows. And I can show you that here, because I have a place. This is a beginning. Here we have several different colors. And I turned it and did the second row, which is just a single crochet, skip one, single crochet, chain, skip one. And then came back, and you can see where here's the yellow, yellow, yellow down underneath. We moved over to this one. This one does not have a yellow. Now, if you look right here, I have to turn this way a little bit. There's a red under here. Put my hook there. There's a red under it, so this stitch here has to be red. There's red underneath, so this stitch has to be red. Now there's a blue underneath, so this next stitch here should be blue, but I don't have blue here yet. So I have to fudge a little on this one and make it a double, half maybe, or a puff stitch or something else. I like to do a single crochet and then start another one. I don't know what you call that. So now I've got all of the red used up, and I'm ready for a blue on the next one. And as a blue single crochet. And as long as I just keep that, then the next one should be blue. And the next one should be blue, because there's a blue down here, and I've got blue right there. And now the next one should be black, and I've already got black up there. And as long as I do that, Make sure that that next stitch is the same as what's underneath. And see, there's a white, and this should be white next. As long as I keep doing that, it will come out in the argyle. The other trick is when you switch and you go back the other way. You have to make sure you either leave enough or skip enough or cheat enough that it works out when you come back. So there's a white, should still have a white, and there's another white, and then I should start with yellow. Not quite there on that one, so I'm going to cheat just a little bit here and put another wrap on that one. And sometimes you have to loosen your tension or tighten up your tension, which is totally different than what you usually do, but it still all works out. So there's a yellow. I need a yellow there. And another yellow. Not all variegates will do it. I've tried with some baby yarn. I can't get it, but I've seen that some people have. I don't know if I'm just not getting the right yarn or if I'm not using a small enough hook. Sometimes you do have to use a different hook. I know some people change their hooks if they need to eat up a little bit of yarn. They actually change their hook to do it. Sometimes you'll find out that every once in a while, because we're not always consistent with our tension, so every once in a while, but not all the time. Just depends on if you had a good day and was happy one day or not. If you were angry at something, you might have done tighter, and so then you need to stretch it out or pull it tighter or whatever. But the next hard thing is when you join a new skein in. You have to make sure that you're in the exact right spot and that you're not going backwards. That was the big trick. Other than that, it's just like a miracle, and each one of them looks different.
So does it have to be the planned pooling yarn?
No, I've had some. In fact, there's only a few that I've bought that says planned pooling on. There's several different Facebook groups for planned pooling, and they have lists of yarn that will actually work, that they know works. And they make different sizes. You can do one repeat or a half a repeat before you turn back. You can make it as wide as you want it, as long as you're doing a full repeat of the sequence here. You don't want to turn it where it's not going to repeat equally. Okay, so you've got blue and then red. You don't want to have it turn like here where it's not going to be even. It won't come out even. You've got to make sure you're in the middle, at the ends of the colors. There's a lot of YouTube videos on it, and they show you better what that means. But you want to make sure that you're getting, if your yarn goes black, blue, red, yellow, white, black, blue, red, yellow, white, you want to turn it after the black, blue, red, yellow, white. But I've enjoyed doing it. I like it, and it's fun to see what it actually does, what actually comes out of it. I've done all 100 stars and snowflakes for my Christmas tree, tiny stars and stuff for that. I've done edges on handkerchiefs, mostly Africans. I did some temple altar cloths over at the Manti Temple, but I understand now that they don't use them as much because they're hard to repair. I wanted that job. I can repair them for them, but they don't.
Not just repairing the cleaning and sizing.
You have to try to stretch them and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But that was wonderful. I enjoyed that. I think I did 4. Besides the altar cloths, I did some just to go like on a buffet table over there. At one time I saw a big doily on the big round. We call it the grandpa table. My grandpa always would say, "We'll meet you at the table in the celestial room." But it's got the little inlaid birds and stuff in it. And there was one of my round doilies on that one. A few scarves and stuff like that. But I've really liked these Africans. I've done more Africans than, I've probably done over 100, just to give my kids and my nieces and nephews each an African. When they got married, I did one for each of them. Just a regular African. So I've done a lot of them. I always chain more, and I didn't know this before. You can leave, this is all extra. I chain more than what I need because I don't know how far it's going to need to be. So I chain more, and then afterwards you can just undo all that and tie a knot down here and not worry about and I've asked, I haven't experimented, but I've asked if it matters what the pattern looks like depending on which color you start on. And everybody tells me it doesn't matter, it's still going to turn out the same anyway. So, but that big colorful one was my first one that I did. And I don't know what I did.